Okay, this is for help on types of data. Looks like you can see my screen and everything's looking good. So I want to remind you that there are some important things to think about while you're working with types of data. I want to kind of walk through the chart with you, and then we will go from there. So typically, when you're answering these questions, you need to choose one of the first three to tell if your data is qualitative or if it's quantitative discrete or quantitative continuous. So you choose one from the green, and then you're also telling its level of measurement, which are these bottom four, which are, I have indicated here in yellow. So you choose one from the green and one from the yellow in each problem. Qualitative means that we have some type of quality, typically words and phrases. Quantitative means we have a quantity, which indicates usually numbers and numbers that we calculate with. Then we have two types of numbers: discrete, which are usually whole numbers, something that we can count, and money, because we can count money, or quantitative continuous, which is some type of measurement that might end up with 5 decimal places or something like that, so that it would be a continuous thing and not something that we could actually count. And then once you choose qualitative, from the yellow, you would choose nominal or ordinal. Nominal is just kind of a name which has no order, and ordinal might have some type of rank or order. And then if you choose quantitative, then you will choose interval or ratio. Typically, you just look at a 0 for that. And what does the 0 mean? If you have no true 0, like temperature can be 32 above or 32 below. In other words, you could have negatives, and 0 is kind of a placeholder or a starting point, and you could go up or down from it like a number line. But if the number we are using that is quantitative can be 0, it has a true 0, and 0 means none, then it's ratio. So again, you choose one of these three in the green, and then you choose one of the level of measurements of these four that I have indicated over here in yellow. So hopefully that kind of helps you out here. And I have written some of that here for your choices in green and yellow as well. And I wanted to walk through a few examples to help you out here. So ages of students in a math class. The ages of a student, you can count their ages. It's pretty much a whole number. So it is going to be, and it's a number, so that makes it quantitative. And then you choose if it's discrete or continuous. And since it's countable and it's an age, it's quantitative discrete. Next, you choose one of these four, but really you only have to choose from the last two, interval or ratio. And it is ratio because age can be 0 if somebody's not born yet. So 0 means nothing or no age. Okay. Tuition for your classes. Tuition is going to be a number, so we automatically know it's quantitative. So we're choosing quantitative. And then you can count money, so it's quantitative discrete. All right. And then we want to go down here and choose if it's interval or ratio. You really can't have negative number and tuition, and you really can't have negative tuition. So, and you could have 0 tuition, say if you were fully scholarship. So since you have a true 0 and 0 means nothing or no money at all or no tuition, then it's ratio. Okay, so let's keep moving. Percentage of body fat. So percentage of body fat is going to be a number because it's a percentage of body fat. So it's a number. We need to decide if it's discrete or continuous. We probably can't count that percentage of body fat. It probably could be decimal numbers, or it could be a non-stopping or just a non-repeating, non-stopping decimal. So it could be like your percentage of body fat could be 8.765432. So it could be continuous. It's a measurement of your body fat. So that is quantitative continuous. And then again, you want to go down here and tell if it's interval or ratio, and you could have 0 body fat. So it has a true 0. So it's ratio, and you really wouldn't have it say a negative body fat. Okay, salaries of the top 10 CEOs in the United States. That's a number. So we want to choose quantitative, discrete, or quantitative to continuous. Since it's money, it's typically going to be discrete because you can count it and it stops with the number of cents on the end of it, if it has cents on the end or not. So salaries of the top 10 CEOs, it could be 1,562,042. So that could be discrete, quantitative, discrete. And then you come down here and tell if it would be negative, or if you have 0, if you have a true 0, you could have 0 salary, I guess, if you're not working at all. So that would be ratio. Then lifetime in hours of a cell phone battery. Lifetime in hours, that's a number of hours. So that is going to be quantitative, again, quantitative. And we need to know if it would be continuous or discrete. Can we actually count the hours, or could it have decimals and fractions? Is it a measurement? It could be in hours. It could be 8.5432 hours. So it's quantitative continuous. And could you have 0 hours in the lifetime of a cell battery? If your cell battery is totally dead, yes, you could have 0. So there is a true 0 with that. So that is quantitative, continuous, and then ratio. The capacity in gallons in a swimming pool, that's going to be a number of gallons. So since that's a number of gallons, it's going to be quantitative. And those gallons could be 5.8643 gallons. So it is continuous. In other words, we can't exactly count. We can't exactly count the number of gallons in there. It could be a continuous number of gallons. And then you could have 0 water in the swimming pool. So that is ratio, because you could have a true 0 of 0 gallons of water in that swimming pool if it was empty. Okay, and then distance in miles to the closest movie theater. It's a number, so it's miles. So it is a measurement, so it's going to be quantitative continuous. And could you be 0 miles to the theater? Yes, so it has a true 0, which means you're at the theater, you're not from the theater. So 0 miles from the theater is a possibility, so it has a true 0, so it's ratio. So that is quantitative, continuous, and ratio. The capacity in cubic feet in a tractor trailer, again, that's a measurement, so quantitative, continuous, and you could have 0 capacity if it's already full or whatever. So it does have a true 0. It can't be a negative capacity, so it's ratio. And then the classes you take per school year, that's the number of classes you take. So it's a number, it's quantitative. And can you count it? Yes, you can count that number of classes you take. So it's quantitative, discrete, 5 classes, 4 classes, not like 5.864 classes. So it's quantitative, discrete, typically whole numbers. And then can you take 0 classes? Yes, so it's ratio. So I hope this helps, and let me know any further questions anybody has.